Hi everyone, welcome to this session titled Making Flipped Classroom Videos with Presenter. Usually when we have these sessions, we have a guest presenter and I play the hostess with the mostess, but today I'm going to be multitasking myself and presenting this session because I love Adobe Presenter and the potential that it brings all sorts of classrooms, but namely flipped classrooms. So I will be the person, and I'm pretty sure that the AELs in the audience who use Presenter will answer questions as we go along. Given that I'm going to be sharing my screen shortly, it will be hard to answer questions on the run. So I would ask if you could pop questions into this area here. That would be great. That would be wonderful. Thank you. Please excuse the typo there. Okay, so my name's Pip Cleaves and I am based in Sydney. I'm an education consultant who works in schools probably 2-3 days a week and consulting elsewhere in between. I love doing lots of work with creativity in education and focusing on 21st century pedagogies. So today what I thought we might do is do a little bit of just a really short introduction around flipped classrooms. To me, it's really important to get the notion of flipped classrooms correct. It's not just about creating videos and showing videos at home, but it's also about backing it up with some other things. So we're going to just do a little quick introduction with that before we fly into this morning. We're going to be looking at Presenter for videos, and this afternoon, why aren't you working for me today? That's really annoying. We will be looking at Presenter for videos, and this afternoon at 3 p.m. we will be looking at, my PowerPoint's gone all wrong. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh well, not a worry. What we might do is share a screen and show it in a second. Okay, so when we are flipping learning, it's not, as I mentioned before, it's not just about creating a presentation, but it is actually about ensuring that we're having really good questioning, that we're tapping into when we send students home to watch videos or to prep for coming into class, that we're actually going to be tapping into the analytics to see if they're understanding the content at home, so that when they come into the classroom that it's all working for them, so that we know which groups and which students are working well with things. There is some links. I'll just share with you a quick link here, a document with all sorts of information for you, and there it is there. I might just open that up and we might share that in through the shared screen, and then that will work lovely for us. So I'm just going to share my screen now and share that there. Thank you. And hopefully you guys are seeing everything beautifully at the moment. So, okay. Of course. There we go. So this document that I'm just sharing with you now is talking about, there we go. Thank you. Here we go. When we are talking about flipped learning, please remember that it's not just about creating video, that you should consider places where you can get your information and get it to students. So are you going to share it through, do you have a learning management system in your institution? Are you going to create yourself a Weebly or an Office 365 site, an Edmodo area? In Australia we have a place called Scootle. Or are you going to use what sort of a space are you going to bring that content so that you're not just sharing a link to students via email? You also might like to think about some of the places that have pre-created content for you. It's not always about creating your own content. There's a lot of good stuff out there. Adobe Television and Adobe Education Exchange, of course, are great places to find some tutorials that are already pre-made. Or else you can head into places like the Khan Academy for Math Science, CK12 for Math Science, Schmoot for English, places that are out there for you. So just know that we have some links here, this as well, to give you some more information about flipping your classroom. and just notice that it is it's not just about creating the videos. In saying that, video, I'm going to be using two separate computers today. The session this morning will be using Mac, just because the Adobe Presenter Video Express is available in Mac, and in Windows it is known as Presenter, and it lives inside PowerPoint as a plugin once installed. So in Macs, when you install Adobe Video Express, you just basically can create the videos and upload the videos. When you're on a Windows device, you install Presenter 10. It appears as a tab inside PowerPoint, and you can then use it to, you can create the video. You can also do the really important creating quizzes or interactive components and all that stuff, which we will be doing this afternoon. So let's get started. When you first open, this is like your project dashboard, so this where all your saved projects will be, or your projects that you've worked on previously, and you can come back and edit them whenever you like. Just because you've created one doesn't mean that's it when you close the program down. When you reopen, you can actually do it. So what I'm going to do is create a new project. And I have a little, now I am warning you that it's 3 a.m. in Sydney, so I do not have my best game face on, if you like, but we will proceed. So when it first opens, it just checks that your webcam is working for you. And you can choose at this point to enable closed captioning or not, which is great for accessibility in the classroom. I know we have some pretty strict standards in Australia, so and I'm pretty sure you guys do too. So we can just turn that on for now. And we're going to move forward. So I'm just going to hit the record button here. And just wait a second. So at this point, it is actually recording. So just as a demo, you can use Adobe Video Presenter Express as a screencasting tool. So not just for creating presentations that are based around PowerPoint, but for presentations that are based around showing software or any sort of screencasting tool. It's wonderful. So we're going to head into this presentation on poetry from different cultures. And this is a bit of an introduction, if you like, that I would like my students to watch at home, to garner some knowledge, to come back into class before we delve deeper into some creation in our classroom. And so now I'm just going to head into the next slide. So just imagine I'm explaining to students, okay students, in this activity we're going to be having an in-class writing task. We're going to annotate over a poem, and we're going to do some paragraph writing focused on poetry analysis. There will be an assessment task for it. And okay, so at that point, just letting you know that, all right, let's stop that recording. That's as if I've just recorded that tutorial. I'm just going to minimize that down in the bottom there. And at this point, I stopped the video recording by pressing Alt, Command and X. And if you're in a PC, you press Shift and End. So once we're in this, my video is ready for editing. And I love Video Presenter Express and Presenter, really easy editing tools. I'm one of those Adobe users that's a jack of all trades and master of none, so it works really beautifully for me. So if I press the play button here, it will play through. The audio is not going to be the best for you while I do this editing work, everyone, too much. Now the first thing you might like to do with your video is add a splash screen at the front for you. So I clicked on the little the clapper tool down the bottom, which is our branding tool, and I can straight away click on to have some cubes, blue energy, so I might use that one. Excellent, that one will do, mate. It makes me look really good. You can use these things that have already been custom made for you. So I've chosen a theme. Now I want to choose where I want my branding icon to, if I want an icon or not. So I can branding icon. This one I can't actually, unfortunately, put the name of my video title on there. But actually, yeah, no, if I go back, yeah. If I go into this grey area, which is the introduction, I can, my apologies. So this is called Poetry Across the World. That's what this unit is. I can choose where I want, where I would like the banner to come. And I am going, I think I'm actually going to have this in the bottom left hand corner, and I'm ready to go. So if I just quickly squeeze my play, and I press play, and then at this point you can just see me in this video. It's very handy to know that these buttons down the bottom, the yellow is for you, the green is for, blue is for both. So you know when you watch a presentation and it should sometimes have the videos, the presenter's face, and it slips between both and moves around. Well, this is how you do that. So you actually start with the screen so that when it starts, so I'm just going to whiz along. What I want to do is cut out that little bit I had at the beginning that I don't need anymore to the presentation. Change things to appear. Okay, so let's stop that. As I'm going through, just going to pop this onto green for a second. Okay, I want to zoom in on some information. So I'm going to click on, just move my little header tool over there. And I'm going to click on this little pan and zoom tool, which is down the bottom here. When I do that, on the right hand side, you can see I've got some little thumbnails popped up. And all I need to do is take the little red area, little red handles, down to the area that I want it to zoom on. And we press play. And then we can take it back out again once we're done. Or we can turn the zoom off. or back on. So there we go. We can work that way. So that allows us to play a little bit with our video. So if we just go back to about here and play from about here, and you'll see here now blue for both, yellow for me, green for the screen, yellow for me, we have the blue, the other blue, and then you'll see that we're going to zoom in just a second. Okay, let's stop that. Now I want to actually add my name, if you like, or the focus, some different writing, a little banner across the bottom. I'm going to head back to my banner. I'm going to take my tool to where it should be, and I'm going to choose this lower third text, and in here I might even give some instructions for students. Please take notes as you move through this. Alright, so now as I move the playhead along, we won't go all the way, we just go to about here and we press play. You'll see that we have that information down the bottom. So while this lower third is, I know it's made for introducing people, I think it's a handy tool to give some short instructions to students if you like. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, the playing is about 5 seconds, the amount of introduction time. I can make that longer or shorter depending on the theme that I've chosen, just via these arrows here. Okay, so what we might quickly do now, so my video is at a point where I'm pretty happy with it. Just give me a second, I'm just going to touch back and see if there's any questions I need at this stage. I think we're good to go. Okay, all right. So I see there is a question there that we'll ask at the end, if that's okay, Mark. So now I'm ready to publish my project and host it. I have a couple of choices available to me. I'm just going to call this morning session. And yeah. So I've got a few choices available to me, which I think is really, really important. And the first is that I can publish it as a standalone file to my computer to then upload and use on any LMS or any sort of system that my institution or I personally like to use. Handy option for us. We can enable the analytics and publish it to the computer. And when we talk about this enable analytics, we will be moving into this afternoon. But this is the interactive components, and this will hook into the Adobe dashboard and allow you to see how people engaged with it. So you can add some collaboration component to the video watching, which is really powerful. We might pop and have a look at that in just a second. One of the great things about Presenter, and especially when you're using the interactive tools, is that you can map your students' progress through. So you can see which questions that you've created, whether they're answering them correctly, whether they're struggling to understand the content, whether they're moving through nicely, which allows you to then prepare for your lesson when you come back in the next day with a little bit more understanding of what you need to do to move forward. So this is publishing to the dashboard at the moment, or getting ready to publish it, and it will take us to there in just a second. Okay, there we go. Let's enable collaboration. This is called the morning session. That's what the module we call next. Just asking me to log in for a second. And hit sign in. So then what that is going to do, I can pop into the learning dashboard area. This is the learning dashboard area, and you can see that that video is on my computer, but I can also head into this. Now, we are going to head into this area this afternoon. I'm going to head into this area this afternoon, but know that the modules that I just popped in there, if I can find everything. Here we go. Okay, I need, of course I need to add a date in there. And we can add that date. There's only 3 students in this course. And you'll see that there's that morning session video ready for me to move with. So I can click create and move forward. Okay, so I now have a little simple course with my morning session in there. We are going to spend more time in here this afternoon as we go through. So back to what other options we have. I can upload this video content straight into my Adobe Connect server so that students can watch it as they're moving through, either as a self-directed Adobe Connect session or a synchronous session. We can also upload straight into YouTube, and it will give you that YouTube link without you having to download to your computer and then upload, or the same for Vimeo, we can upload into there. So if we go to YouTube, it's just the normal processes. Just be aware whether your district has YouTube access or not for students when they're at school, if you're going to be doing this one. So in Australia, that can be a little bit of an issue for schools. So I'm just going to now cancel that. Thank you. And go back to my project. So if I want to preview and see how everything is going, it is just a matter of pressing play. And that the playhead, we can just pop that through to see how we're going. Okay, what I might just do now quickly is pop out back into the room, stop sharing my screen, and I come back and see how things are going and answer some questions. We might just pop into this wrap-up area and have a bit of a discussion and see, were there any questions? I think there might have been. Let's see. Oh yeah, so when we why don't I do a quick for you? It might be a little bit confusing, but I have no, I'll show you in this afternoon session. When we're using a Windows computer, I'll show you that exact thing in Windows. But basically, you would install the software into your Windows computer. You open PowerPoint, namely the deck that you're going to prepare, and then you're going to click on video, and that same interface that we just saw work. Can the screencast highlight mouse click and keyboard shortcut events? Jim, I'm not too sure what you mean by that. Can you expand a little bit? I could probably give you audio if you want, and you could ask me if you like. Can you change the font color, for example? No, the font color is set according to the theme. So some of the themes do have white writing. Yes, when you export to YouTube, you will lose the analytics. So when you take it away from that Adobe dashboard environment, you're going to lose that capability for the analytics. No, Mark, there's no way to edit the theme as far as I'm aware. Okay, how is Presenter different to Captivate? Awesome question. I see, and please excuse my simplicity in explaining this, Presenter is my everyday runaround car that I use to do my shopping in, and Captivate is my big four-wheel drive that I'm going to go on a really big holiday with. So is sort of one way to explain it. Presenter allows me to create tutorials very simply, and it has the dashboard component without me having to tap into my learning management system to get that. Captivate is perhaps more powerful in a way. Well, I think it is, but it doesn't have the learning analytics. It's probably a little bit more polished. What you can do with it's probably a little bit more polished with what you can do in Captivate in some ways. But Presenter is, I think, gives you the analytics that allows you a place to host your content. Both will give you interactive components, and both will create a tutorial from a presentation deck. Ah, okay, sorry about that. Yes, Presenter is HTML5, so when you create the content it is HTML5, so it will allow it to work nicely. For those Presenter features, I'm just going to pop a little link in this here. You'll see there's a link there with the Presenter 10 features. I don't know media site, I'm sorry, Oseas. If anyone does, please feel free to answer that question. But it's not one that I'm aware of at this stage. Okay. I'm just wondering if everyone, to actually access Presenter, they're on the site. I'll just get the site back for you. You can, there is an education pricing for Presenter, and it is at the moment, or it's a lot cheaper for teachers and students to be able to, here is the education pricing. On Mac, Presenter Video Express was available in the Mac App Store, but it's now available in the, you purchase it through the Adobe site. Can you request it for testing purposes? There is a trial period with it, Jim, so there's a 30-day trial period that you can use for testing it. Is there an ACE exam? Yes, there is. It's a different process. The ACE, no. The ACA, I think there is, but it's a slightly different process than the normal AC exams. Okay. Well, I think it's time to wrap up this session. I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight on how easy and simple Presenter is to help you create really good, valuable content for your students if you're in a flipped classroom or non-flipped classroom. Please do just quickly vote for me, not vote, but fill in the polls for me as you leave the session. And this afternoon when we come back, we'll be looking at interactive components. So looking at how we can add quizzes and the jigsaw puzzle and hangman, and then how we can host it into the Adobe dashboard and have a look at what options are there for you. So I will see you all this afternoon at 3 p.m. Don't forget we have some other professional development information courses starting in the near future. One of those being Adobe Digital Imaging will be starting this Saturday, so please do join in. What time zone? 3 p.m. PST. So that will in America. So we'll see you later. Thank you, everyone. See you at 3 p.m.